Now we have an active sprint to work with, right? And the sprint name is sprint 1. So your day-to-day task is the first thing you start your day, what will you be doing? I would open my project and I look into my sprint board, active sprint board, to check to see what are all the available tickets for me to start picking up to work, right? Because this is a new sprint, we have nothing here to pick up to start working. And what happens on a daily basis is we will be having a daily stand-up meeting, which is one of the Scrum ceremony. So what happens in the daily stand-up ceremony? The Scrum Master will initiate the daily stand-up meetings. And when does it happen? It happens, as the name itself says, on a daily basis. In general, it happens first thing in the morning. Let's say we will be having a daily stand-up 10 o'clock in the mornings. So in the stand-up, what happens is the Scrum Master will be initiating the meeting and the entire dev team will be attending the call. And the usual time length of that meeting is anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. Even it might finish soon than 5 minutes. Okay, so what happens there? The Scrum Master will open the board for which the project is working on. So once we log into the active sprints board, the Scrum Master will start asking each and everyone's activities for the day. And everyone will start providing the status on what they have done yesterday and what is it they are going to do today. And if there are any blockers that they have come across while doing any task previously, and if so, what is that blocker and how can someone in the team help them to successfully overcome that blocker. So you might be wondering what a blocker is. Let's say someone is working on a task FM2. Okay, so in that FM2, if you just open the ticket, in Jira we can call it as a ticket. Okay, let's say we have opened this ticket FM2 and this ticket doesn't have any kind of acceptance criteria so that the developer or the tester can start picking to work on this ticket. So the developer might say, I don't have the acceptance criteria defined here. Can someone please look into this? Or can request the product owner to have some acceptance criteria. So then on the call itself, if it is a small issue, the product owner can immediately write the acceptance criteria. He can say, oh yes, I have forgotten to mention it. Let me do it right now. Let's say the product owner has entered some details. So it is nothing but like updating the daily progress and also the work that has been done yesterday and what is that we are going to achieve by tomorrow. And this is what a typical daily stand-up meeting look like every day. Okay. Now let's look into our board. Because this is a new sprint and no one has yet started to pick up any task, this looks so blank. Now let's go through the Jira workflow. Because now no one has picked up any ticket right now, all the tickets are under the status of to do. Okay, so that is the first and foremost workflow. And let's say the developers have decided that yes, one of the user story is ready for the development and we have all the acceptance criteria required for the development. So what happens? That ticket will be pulled into ready for development. Let's say we have pulled everything into development because all are eligible for development. Now from there, the developer is pulling 3 tickets into development. Later, from here, let's say developer has finished work or coding for 2 of the tickets. So what happens? So those 2 tickets now will be moving into code review workflow. And someone from the development team has reviewed their code and they are happy with the code. Okay, now that code will be merged and the development will be completed. So once the development is completed, those tickets can be moved on to development done column. What is it? Testers will be literally waiting for development done tickets so that they can start executing these tickets. That's nothing but they can actually start testing these tickets. And you might be asking, so until they have any tickets in the dev done column, are they going to sit idle? No. What they are going to do is, as soon as they found some tickets under to do section or in the ready for development or in development or in any of these columns before the dev done column, they can actually start writing the test cases or prepare the test plan for any of these tickets available in any of these columns before the dev done. Okay. While the ticket is in the development done column, that means it is actually completed with the development and actually the testers can test that. Okay, so that is the workflow. And if there is a ticket that is sitting in the development done column, that means that feature is completely developed and now it is ready for the testing. So ideally, before any ticket comes into the development done column, it's the QA's responsibility to make sure they have the all acceptance criteria and start picking up on the test plan and the test cases. Okay, we will go through how to create a test plan and the test cases in the later sessions. For now, let's focus on the JIRA workflow. So let's say once we are done with the testing, what will happen is the testers will, because they are done with the testing, they can add a note here in the ticket saying successfully completed testing on the test environments 1 and 2 and save. Okay, so now anyone looks into this, they can easily understand that this ticket is now completed. We can update the status in the ticket from to do to ready to release. See, the ticket is now moved into ready to release column from QA, right? So this is how the JIRA workflow will happen from to do till ready to release. Let's say this is also released, then what happens when we move it here, and here we can assign it as done. It is automatically assigned because it is in the done column. Let's say we are also completed with this ticket. So we have 2 tickets in the done column. Okay, so if you carefully observe here on the top, it is saying how many days is remaining. We just started today, so 4 more days are remaining, right? And once the 4 days are completed, then we can complete the sprint and start a new sprint. Okay, let's say we are already at the end of the sprint and assume that we are done with the sprint and let's complete the sprint. Click on the complete sprint and it is saying 2 issues were done and 3 issues were incomplete. So what we can do you want to move those incomplete issues to a new sprint or to the backlog? Let's for now move into the backlog and complete it. Perfect. The sprint is successfully completed. Now let's go back into our reports and check to see how we have performed in our sprint. See, the moment you complete your sprint, JIRA has automatically dragged us into the sprint report section. If you want to see how you want to navigate into report section, go into your project. Now go into your reports. In the reports, let's go into sprint report. See, for the sprint 1, we have started and finished on the same day. Okay, and the status report, how many we have completed? Yes, we have completed 2 and we have not completed 3, right? So the story points, how many we have completed and how many are left over, everything it is saying. Let's go into velocity chart. So we were actually aiming to finish 20 user stories, isn't it? See, here if you look here, the velocity for sprint 1, it is clearly providing us like how many we have completed, and the gray one is like the commitment, how many we have given the commitment. Okay, so because we just started and closed the sprint immediately, this graph is not that accurate, but actually in your workplace, if you actually work for more than like a week and you started to work on many tickets or available story points or available tickets or available user stories, you can actually see the perfect graph that is being represented in the velocity chart or in the sprint report or in the burn up chart or the burn down chart. Okay, so these are all the different reports that are available. Okay, if you click on the all reports section, or if you click on the report section, you will be navigating into all reports for the Agile. So basically Agile is giving us options to look at the performance of your sprint. So let's say if your project manager or your test lead wants to look into the performance of the sprint, this is the best way or the ideal way to provide any report. So if in interviews, if someone asks you, how can you provide the status of the sprint, you can say, I can go back to the reports and from there I can provide you the sprint report.